Are we on? I guess I'll have to use my teacher voice. Good evening. I'm Ann Lawson-Knoll, proud alum, parent, and faculty member of UHA. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to a great celebration. Thank you all for being here. We are so happy to see you. It's been a great day. And to kick things off, I would like to thank a few people who've been instrumental in organizing this event. Megan Gibbons Conrad has given hours and hours and hours to organizing this. Thank you, Megan. I knew when I had her in middle school, she was something special. I want to also thank Kristen Roberts and her classes for putting together slideshows and pictures. I want to thank Tammy Staley for helping track down alumni. If we don't have the right address for you, please make sure that you are known to us. We want to improve our communications. And I want to thank all the faculty and staff of UHA for being here and for being a part of this history. I've been tasked with just a little bit of UHA history, a little bit of a timeline, if you will. How did we get started? My friend Jennifer Pitzer Brown wrote a few words about this, and then I edited a little bit and added a few things, so I'd like to share this with you. I'll try to be brief. On May 11th, 1973, the Kentucky New Era ran a front-page story announcing plans for the construction of University Heights Academy, an independent college prep school in Hopkinsville. The newspaper story included an architect's drawing of the school to be built off North Drive. The campus had 50-plus acres. Back then, it seemed like a retreat on the edge of town. On May 14th, the UHA Board of Trustees announced the hiring of a headmaster, 42-year-old Kenneth Stuckey, who came to Hopkinsville from the Webb School in Tennessee. Mr. Stuckey set up temporary offices in the former New Era building at 7th and Bethel Street. The original prospectus that was used to fundraise and recruit students included a letter that read like this: an open letter to the community. We are proud to be able to offer the children of our community a new dimension in education. University Heights Academy takes for its motto, the traditions of classical education. The Academy is an expression of the desires of the citizens of our community to educate their children so that religion, moral discipline, and academic achievement shall continue to be their birthright. In the years to come, our children will discover not only the beauty of learning, but will learn about themselves as unique individuals. The Academy's future is as bright as their hopes. On May 22nd, plans for a groundbreaking were announced. And during the summer of 1973, prospective students went to the New Era building for their entrance exams. As it became clear that the North Drive building would not be ready in time for the start of the 73-74 school year, board members thought of launching classes in the old newspaper building downtown. A local fire official advised against it. So during the first week of September 1973, UHA opened in the Fairgrounds Convention Center. There were approximately 70 students in grades 1 through 8. Classrooms were set up throughout the building, a corner here, a spare office there. One of the smallest classes occupied the tiny ticket office at the front entrance. The 6th grade had 20 students, and as the largest class, it claimed a business office. During the first several weeks, teachers Ann Poe and Jenny Lawson taught square dancing for PE classes in a warehouse section of the convention center. Some of the students loved it. Some endured it. Science teacher Nancy McGuire used the large fairgrounds as an outdoor laboratory, a harbinger of the great teacher she would become for hundreds of UHA kids for the next 2 decades. As an aside, I talked to Mrs. McGuire today. She regrets that she was unable to join us and sends her best to all of you. She has wonderful memories of UHA. She has some health concerns that kept her from being with us, and she was really sorry about that, but she wanted to send her best to all of you. During recess, UHA kids wandered around the open fairgrounds. They spent time in the stables petting horses through stall doors. As far as we know, no kids were hurt. Several weeks later, when UHA packed up and moved to the new campus on North Drive, there were doors still waiting to be hung, and the hallways were still sticky with wet paint. During board meetings, trustees passed the hat to collect money to pay utility bills. The school's first secretary drove a cute yellow VW Beetle, in which she occasionally went around town collecting more money from board members at their offices so the school could make payroll. Marvin Dennison doubled as an extraordinary history teacher and facilities manager. There were, and still are, parts of the building and campus that only Marvin knows how to open, close, and fix. An early student made a deal with the board to work part-time as a school custodian to cover his tuition until he graduated. And more than 20 years later, he remembered the school with a generous donation. UHA's first mascot was the Blue Devil. And for a few years, boys played on middle school basketball teams and girls cheered in blue uniforms that we got from Christian County. Then the students voted to ditch the devil. The green and gold Blazers took hold at the start of the 76-77 year with UHA's first varsity levels team, boys soccer. Soon the school also had varsity boys and girls basketball teams and a girls volleyball team. UHA was among the first schools in Western Kentucky and the first in Christian County to offer boys soccer and girls volleyball. Those early UHA teams burned up the highways to play many away games in Louisville, Lexington, Evansville, and Tennessee. And we had a great time. Adding a grade level at each year, UHA had its first senior class in 77-78 school year. The first graduating class had 8 students, including one foreign exchange student, a boy from Belgium who joined the school at mid-year. Outdoor school was an early innovation, with upper school students learning in the Land Between the Lakes area of Brandon Springs Retreat Center. That experience then transitioned to travels to various cities as the student population grew. Middle school students joined that trend, and UHA students could then claim to have experienced learning and fun in a variety of metropolitan areas. COVID derailed the program for a while, but the faculty hopes to return to a revised plan. 8th graders still visit Chicago, and seniors now visit Washington, D.C. Since those modest beginnings, the little school that could has grown in population size and in its physical plant, giving Mr. Dennison more to look after. The Blazer Gym and 4 additional classrooms were completed around 1977. The so-called back hall was added around that original footprint in the school year of 98-99. Those classrooms presently house the middle school and include the multi-purpose room. The newest classroom building, sometimes called upstairs, was constructed in 2018, and classes began there in August of that school year. It houses the high school classrooms and the music room. Various sports enhancements have included improved soccer, baseball, and softball facilities, excuse me, as well as a building that now houses athletic training equipment. But UHA still operates on that original promise in that original prospectus. Multiple generations now have learned and formed lasting memories at 1300 Academy Drive, and the future looks bright that it will continue for another 50 years. I'd like to welcome my classmate and longtime friend, Taylor Hayes, to the stage now for some further recognitions.
Not so sure I'm going to be as eloquent as Miss Noel, Miss Lawson, as I still think of her. I really appreciate Megan giving me a call to speak tonight. Like Ann, our humble beginnings in 1973 as fifth graders at the old convention center. I have a unique perspective, I think, in some way. I'm a student, I'm a graduate, alum, parent of two that graduated, was a member of the Board of Trustees, chairman of the board, and I think, Mr. Dennison, if I'm not mistaken, I think Karen and I are grandparents of the first third generation that could be a graduate of UHA. Through the years, when I was talking to parents, a lot of people would ask me about the school. And I would usually use an analogy about the bumblebee. I think there's an old myth that physically the bumblebee should not be able to fly. It just goes against the grain of what we generally think of creatures flying and airplanes flying. But yet, they overcome those obstacles. They do things differently. And if you think about what Ann said about that prospectus and there being a new dimension, a new way of educating our children and broadening their minds in a different kind of setting. Think how different that was for a community like Hopkinsville, Christian County. Yes, there was private schools all throughout the nation, hundreds of years old. But for a small rural community, that was quite different. And I think, Mr. Guffey, would you not agree that there was a lot of skepticism within parents, within this community about whether or not this school could survive? But somehow it does. It works. It overcomes those obstacles. And I want to share just a little bit about our founding fathers and actually founding two mothers. How many of you have read the names on that plaque when you walk in the front door? All of us have probably passed it hundreds, if not thousands of times. But have you ever really looked at who those people were? Those are the people that built the bedrock of what this institution has become. You think about what they believed in. Just ask yourself, how much would you believe in something to throw your time and energy and personal resources into something that you believe, but everybody around you was very skeptical? So let's just think about these names that are on that plaque right here. And I'm sorry to say, there's only two that are still with us today. Chuck Sutherland. If anybody knew that man, he was a driving leader. He was the chairman of the board. Sam Trauber, who just passed away a matter of a few days ago. George Bradle. One that is with us today is Michael Baker. Sam Chestnut, Gordon Casey, R.E. Eugene Croft, Dr. William Dew, my father, Robert T. Hayes. Helen Helsley is with us. She's still alive today. Sheila Higgins, Philip Horn, Dr. John Newsom, James Parrott, Dr. Frank Pitzer, and Dr. William Young. Just like for all of you all, just to sort of reflect how grateful we are for these individuals who believed and literally passed a hat around on a routine basis with the bills. Can you imagine? Would you put yourself into that situation? Do you believe in something that strong that you would draw a bill out? Can only imagine what was going through their minds on what bill they would like to have and what bill they wouldn't like to have. But I am grateful for those individuals. So the next time you walk through those doors, just gander at that plaque there. It's a little rough looking and so forth, but that is our bedrock. So, while we're proud and grateful for those individuals, every single one of you all, every student, every parent, grandparent, faculty, administrator, leader, friends of UHA that don't have any students or anybody at the school or people that believe in what we do. It all takes all of us. I was talking to Dr. Gajera when we were walking in, and we just felt like when we served on the Board of Trustees together, we just supplied just a little bit of a piece of what's going on. But we made a difference. But it takes all of us working together. There's too many people that followed, in the Board of Trustees steps to mention all of them right now. But there is one other family and one other leader that really took and built upon that bedrock of where we are today. They took it to another level of excellence, both academically, operationally, athletically. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Flynn family, the late Bill Flynn and his lovely wife, Catherine. What they put into our school from a leadership perspective and their vision just took our school to another level. And I'm proud to say their two sons, Tom and Tim, obviously are still involved in the school and are passionate about what we do in making our school even better. So without mentioning any further names, if you are a current Board of Trustee member or you have served on the Board of Trustees sometime during this 50 years, I want you to stand. I think there's a lot of people that don't necessarily know what goes on in those board meetings and so forth, but I can tell you during those early years, it was probably not a lot of fun. It was pretty tough. They had to become pretty creative in the ways that they generated resources, including passing the hat around. So I just want to thank all of you all for the commitment you've made. There's also another group that we're going to recognize tonight, and there are a number of them here tonight. But every school has a commander. While the Board of Trustees looks after the policy and the finances, there's usually somebody at the head, our head of schools. Ann mentioned the very first, Ken Stuckey, and I remember him pretty well. I remember taking tests or something in the old Kentucky New Era building, and I remember him over the next year or so as the school started. He's not with us today, but we want to thank him for his service to UHA. The next ones that I mentioned, I would like for you to come forward to be recognized and stay on stage while we thank all of you all, and we'll get a group picture. So, following Ken Stuckey was our very own Danny Guffey. Danny, come on up. Danny, I remember you were in the test taking. I remember you at the Kentucky New Era as well when we were taking tests, these entrance tests, I think. So, you've been around a little while. So, a fellow I met coming into the door tonight, I haven't seen him in so long, and it was so good to see him. Our former French and Latin teacher, Mr. Robert Baker. Come on up, Bob. I know he's here. I just saw him. Oh, he's having to say, he's coming from upstairs. Oh. Marvin, your name, you're all over the board here. You've been a part of everything. Come on up, Marvin. duties, one of my first duties when I became chair of the board was to hire a head of school, and that would be Miss Linda Ledford. So, and as I was transitioning after my youngest, I have one that graduated in 2000, and then Hunter graduated in 2006, and I started transitioning off, and Miss Ledford was stepping aside, and along came Pam Nunn. Pam, please join us up front. Oh, you know what? I sort of left somebody out. Come on up, Pam. You're not. My apologies, but actually, I left one out here. After Ken Stuckey was it Kim Barton? Was he our second or third? I think he was our third.
After Mr. Guffey.
It was after Mr. Guffey, so he was Kim Barton. So Kim Barton couldn't make it tonight. He lives in Nashville, but his daughter Amy is here. So Amy, I'm going to make you come up. So after Pam was Beth Humphrey. Beth could not make it tonight. She's out of town, and she passed on a message that she loves and cherishes the UHA family. So in our current head of school, Miss Tanya Oakley, would you please join us?
Girl power.
Well, thank you all so very much. I just wanted to share a little bit about this bedrock of trustees that really started this school. But do know that it really takes all of us working together. And we really appreciate everybody's involvement all through these 50 years. And now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Megan Conrad, or Miss Givens, as I still call her.
Yeah, this is not safe. This is not safe.
Moving on to pretty much the last portion of the night. I know y'all are anxious to get back to mingling and catching up, but when I thought about honoring our school, I knew that I wanted to focus on the faculty. I knew that there have been many great people in our community that dreamed this up and that made it happen. But in my eyes, the people that are there day in and day out are what have kept us going. So I can get through this. I'm going to read pretty much the rest. For those of you that might not know me, I am Megan Givens Conrad. I had the privilege of attending UHA for 12 years and graduated in 2001. My 3 sons are now students at UHA and are fortunate enough to have some of the amazing teachers that I had. I'm here this evening to recognize our outstanding faculty. Faculty members who have committed a decade or even multiple decades to our students in our school. The number of hours they have spent nurturing, educating, encouraging, and molding our students is a testament to the amazing educators they are. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, we thank you for the time and love you've given to our school, and we honor you tonight with a small token of our appreciation. Please come forward as your name is called and remain on stage for a group photo. For any of our beloved faculty that are no longer with us, I hope a family member will come forward to accept on their behalf. For the faculty that have devoted, yes, the far side, the faculty that have devoted over 10 years of service to our school, we would like to present you with a University Heights Academy Faculty Legacy Award. Please come forward. Kim Borneman, Teresa Bailey, Jill Bressler. Oh, upstairs crew. Okay, come on. I'll give some of them a second. Amy Bullen, Tasha Burnham, Sarah Cavanaugh, Michelle Deal, Amy Edmondson, Coach Fields, Coach Pat Fields, Vanessa Hancock, James Hoagland, Jeff Jackson, the late Richard Keller. Come on, Emily. Come be, or Craig. You want to be Coach Keller? Come on, Craig. Sherry Key. Yes. Margaret McDonald. Stephanie Meredith. Marcy Thomas. Steve Wiggin. Roy Woolham. Eileen Woolham. Rayanne White. And one of the greatest dynamic duos putting their years together, Dick and Diane Weaver. Those are our 10 years, 10 plus years. Stay up here, wait, there's more coming. Is Diane downstairs? Oh, is she coming? Come on. Yes. They're coming, they're coming. I know it doesn't, I just can't imagine a whole decade. And y'all, I just thank you. I love y'all. Here she comes. Here she is, as my sons called her, the girl Mr. Weaver teaches PE. All right, y'all look, take one group photo. Okay. Yeah. It's okay, you can come back. And now for faculty that have devoted over 15 years of service to UHA, we'd like to present you with the University Heights Academy Faculty Legacy Award. Faye Hendricks, Lisa Allen, Shannon Brown, Laura Cherry, Verna Klupsa, Elaine Hall, Kim Humphreys, Sandra Livingston, Sherry McGowan, Kristen Roberts, Taylor Sparks, are you gonna come? Donna Williams and Brett Pritchett. 15 years of service. Tina Moore. Come on, Miss Brown.
I'll try.
Thank you.
Sir,
I'm gonna say right here.
you're the best.
For faculty that have devoted over 20 years of service to our school, we would like to present you with a Faculty Legacy Award. Miriam Aponte, Tracy Atwood, Becky Bradley, Lisa Bruce, Jessica Cannon, Gloria Hetzekorzian, Tony Curtis, Nancy McGuire, the late Ann Poe, Mary Underwood, and Tracy Williams. Is Miss Colburn still here? Sally. Is Sally Colburn still? Come up here and get Ann posed. Amanda Baxter, are you here? Did you come get Tony Curtis's gift? One more coming for the group picture.
Good job, Amanda.
The individuals that we're going to recognize now are no doubt the epitome of a Blazer. They're faculty members who have been a part of our school for over 25 years. They all had children at UHA. Several even had grandchildren graduate from UHA. They've kept us firmly planted in our roots while also leading us into new decades of discovery. They've celebrated with us, they have wept with us, they have encouraged us, and they have inspired us. I'm incredibly fortunate to have been taught by all of these individuals and could easily share a long list of wonderful attributes for them. But I wanted to go a step further in recognizing these special individuals. So I had to call upon one of them, as I often do. I wanted someone who had worked alongside this group to help honor the amount of heart and soul that these remarkable individuals have given to our school. I'm going to ask Tammy Staley to come at this time to help me recognize our final faculty members of the evening.
Nothing like a good teaching prop.
I'll just keep that close. Thank you, Megan. Boy, we raised her right. For the record, this is not the first time I've told UHA no and it didn't stick. I'd like to recognize faculty members with 25 years and above. Patricia Dick was a very integral part of the UHA faculty. She taught French and English for over 25 years. I can assure you her grammar in both was spot on. Her children, John, Emily, and David, were all UHA graduates, and she enjoyed the special grandparent status when Emily's son, Matthew, attended. She sponsored clubs, special events, chaperoned countless dances and proms, and was a wonderful confidant and friend. Patricia could not be here tonight, but we will certainly make sure she receives her recognition. Miss Patricia Dick. My apologies in advance for my remarks being scripted. It came down to self-preservation. And yes, Ms. Kistner, I do have an understudy, just in case. Every good math student knows the importance of showing your work. or soon will if you are in Miss Keller's math class. Judy Keller has been a part of the UHA family for the past 4 decades. She began teaching at UHA as a substitute in the early years and joined as a full-time faculty member in 1986. Her husband Richard and she taught for over 10 years together and added Emily and Craig to the UHA family. Incidentally, I don't think Craig slept the night before he entered 5th grade. I can't imagine why. Their family hosted some of our beloved foreign exchange students. I remember a conversation with Judy about the mountain of socks in her laundry. Her days at UHA were made even sweeter by adding their 2 granddaughters, Kirsten and Kara. Many graduates of UHA can credit Judy Keller for their ability to succeed in a college math class. Did you do your homework sitting right over there or right over there? I know you did because I saw you. The neat thing was Miss Keller was probably backstage ready to tutor if necessary. Was she the hardest teacher you ever had? Probably. Those same students will agree that her dedication to her students' success was one of the greatest gifts they received at UHA. Thank you, Judy Keller, for showing your work by requiring your students' best effort and continuing to impact our students' lives. Miss Judy Keller. Her name exemplifies the passion she has for her career. Few educators can claim the respect and admiration Joy Tilley receives from her students. For 30 years, she has enriched their lives both inside the classroom and outside the academic environment. Joy has been associated with UHA from its 2nd year when John Charles enrolled in 3rd grade. Husband Charlie served on the Board of Trustees, and she enjoyed that very special blessing of having her granddaughters Emma, Charlie, and Caroline with her as well. She is the definition of a Blazer tradition. Her expectations were abundantly clear. Your best effort was required, your questions welcomed, your English accent preferred, and your commas Oxford. Students unprepared for class immediately realized the error of their ways and usually chose not to make that mistake again. From her daily lessons to planning Shakespeare live performances, each class was designed for her students' success. She taught from bell to bell. One alumni faculty member refused to interrupt her class with a non-emergency message and passed that task on to an office worker. A former student council president shared in her yearbook dedication that she is always open, very outgoing, very energetic, very inspirational, and very willing to let students lead the way. Borrowing a line from our friend Mr. Shakespeare, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. Miss Tilley, thank you for seeing what your students could become and encouraging them along the way. Miss Joy Tilley.
You think I get up those steps? Yeah. Well, I don't know that I can. I'll try.
You want to come on?
I'll try. Let's see.
There we go.
I'm an old person.
No, you're not.
That Blazer spirit's alive and well in you. From the beginning, Ann Lawson Knoll has been a part of the University Heights Academy. well deserved. She has experienced our school as a student with her siblings, an alum, a teacher, and a parent of Thomas. Her mother, Jenny Lawson, was a trustee and one of UHA's original teachers and has provided extraordinary footsteps for Anne to follow. Ms. Knoll has been the epitome of what UHA strives to teach our young people. She was UHA's first National Merit Scholar, a fact I enjoy pointing out on school tours. Her high expectations for her students, coupled with her dedication and her wit, continue to brighten our days. When she faced some of life's greatest challenges, Ms. Knoll had the prayers and support of the entire school community. It was such a blessing to see her back in the classroom doing what she loves and bleeding green and gold and an occasional light blue. She is an example of a true blazer. As most of you have heard, Ms. Knoll is retiring at the end of the school year. Well, that's not exactly true. She's actually receiving a promotion, trading her UHA Miss Knoll title for grandmother to Thomas's twins that are due in June. In her email to the faculty, she says, "We've really done some wonderful things here, and I'm proud to be a part of it. We wish her a double portion of sunshine and fun in the days to come. Miss Anne Lawson Knoll." When UHA thinks of family and tradition, this treasure comes to mind. Miss Corman has embraced our school for the past 5 decades as only a mother could. She's loved us, nurtured us, guided us, and supported us. Her wit and wisdom are unparalleled. Fortunate is the blazer who has experienced both. It is impossible to recognize all of the positive contributions of Ms. Gorman to UHA and to our community as a whole. Ms. Gorman began as a supportive parent when she enrolled her 3 youngest sons, Dave, Doug, and Steve, in 1976. She became admissions director in 1982, presenting a positive first impression to prospective parents and children. She has opened her home not only to her children's friends, but to numerous foreign exchange students needing a home away from home. Ms. Gorman has been instrumental in coordinating Blazer Bingo and our other charitable events, and there have been a lot of them. Her presence at UHA functions always brings a smile to all of us. She can be spotted at Dream Stakes or Spring Fling, work in the room, while still making you feel like you are the most important person there. If you ask students at UHA or alum about their favorite UHA Christmas memory, most will tell you it's listening to Miss Gorman read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" at our Christmas assembly. For that few minutes, we're all transported to a magical encounter with Santa. She has mentored students, parents, and faculty members on countless occasions with patience, compassion, and love. Please join me in thanking one who brings joy to all of us, Miss Imelda Gorman.
I'll go down there. It's safer. You won't have to watch.
Go backstage, you're more at home now.
couldn't call on Miss Staley to help me with Miss Staley, so I called the next best thing, Tara. It was January of 1986 when she first got a call that a new lower school teacher was needed at UHA. Rumor has it she initially declined the position with 2 little ones at home, not wanting to miss out on the early stages of family life. Thanks to the encouragement of her big sister, she accepted the position. Little did Tammy Staley know that her family was about to grow exponentially. Whether it be through the life lessons of Johnny Tremaine, building a log cabin out of sticks and mud with our own hands, or taking the 5th grade class to the Space Center in Huntsville, Miss Staley has always worked to make learning fun while providing practical applications of real-life skills in order to prepare students for the future. After spending the first half of her UHA career in the classroom, she transitioned to admissions director and lower school director. While not in the classroom every day, she continues to shape future leaders by instilling patriotism in our students. Showing respect and gratitude to our military through the Veterans Recognition Wall and sponsoring the Junior American Citizens Club are just a few examples of this. Miss Staley is the ultimate cheerleader, a constant encourager, and always willing to lend a helping hand. Whether it's sharing what it means to be a Blazer with the community, welcoming potential students and their families, or hours spent compiling data to ensure our accreditation standards are not only met but exceeded, Miss Staley is there. After watching her own children grow up at UHA, she now enjoys seeing her 2 grandsons in the hall between classes and on bake sale days when they stop by for their donut. She loves seeing former students grow and succeed. She loves hearing of their good news and accomplishments, and she especially loves seeing the names of alumni children pop up on our preschool enrollment list. As she likes to say, UHA is like Hotel California. You can check out, but you never truly leave. Miss Staley, we're thankful that you've been here to stay. Thank you for being a vital part of the Blazer family for almost 4 decades, and for helping our school maintain the standard of excellence that made UHA what it is today. Tammy Staley. I failed to mention it's been 35 years that Miss Staley has been there.
37. She never liked math. Oh, thanks, I needed that. Okay. I looked up Barbara Kistner's name in my dictionary and found the following definition. Kistner, Barbara, noun. 1, educator, one who makes learning fun. 2, molder of children. Verb, accomplish with enthusiasm. 2, inspire to achieve. Miss Kistner has much in common with a well-loved character. Mickey and she are timeless. Their appearance has changed ever so slightly and remains youthful in looks and deeds. Makes me sick. She's the first one of us the students outgrow and can still pass for one of them. They both entertain and teach. A high level of expectation is associated with any project with which they are involved. Barbara delivers the goods. Our special pre-K through seniors environment affords us the opportunity to literally watch kids grow up. Occasionally, as they approach adulthood, they think they've outgrown the seemingly childish companions like Mickey or spunky middle school teachers. Years later, without exception, when a student returns for a visit, her classroom is a stop on a joyful reunion. Some of you have middle school students in her class. It's like discovering Mickey again through the eyes of your own child. Incidentally, well, more about that in just a minute. Her commitment to her craft is evident, whether it's in a wardrobe or on the stage or touring Chicago, her classroom knows no boundaries. Growing up with Miss Kistner as his mom, Tyler, now an upper-level math high school teacher in Lexington, little shout out to Judy Keller there, has seen firsthand what it takes to make a difference in the lives of students. For the record, she returned to UHA a week early from maternity leave because we needed her back. Whether or not there has been a defining moment in her career, I cannot say. She has laughed with her students and cried with them and cheered with them and occasionally fussed at them if necessary. She spends every day challenging, motivating, and inspiring them to think outside the box. Our alma mater says it best. We have learned and laughed together, made our memories last forever. These are days that we'll remember through all our years. Thank you for making a difference and blessing all of us all through our years. Ms. Barbara Kistner. I ain't doing this one by myself. You stay right here. Yeah. Okay. I can do this. I practiced many times. He arrived at UHA in 1974 with a freshly minted diploma from Murray State University and planned to stay until he could find a real job. That's the truth. I've heard him say that many times. It's fitting that the 2004-2005 advocate begins with the road not taken and ends with a dedication to this very special man. Marvin Dennison has logged more hours at UHA than one would think humanly possible. A fact Kathy, Aaron, and Adam can confirm. Early mornings and late nights are his norm. There is rarely an event where his presence is not seen or heard. His whistling or humming show tunes in the mall is like a night watchman's reminder that all is well. Aaron and Adam need look no further for a true example of service, sacrifice, and dedication. Many of you were issued into UHA with his opening day address, of which you can quote verbatim. A select few have served on his Acme Move It or Tear It Up crew, and you did both in the blue truck. Then there was government class, a rite of passage. You don't get out of here without it. His parting message to the seniors is not to argue your constitutional rights while you're standing on the side of the road. As with the presidential introduction, when he presented your class to the chairman of the board for the purpose of graduation, it was his high privilege and distinct honor, and he meant it. He would truly be a millionaire if his hours of service translated to dollars. Well, Mr. D, who wants to be a millionaire? I know 47 years later that there are days that when you momentarily trade your government book for a broom, or a plunger, or a light bulb, or a drill, or a grill to match one of your countless hats you wear, you might still consider about that real job. But I assure you, a career spent in challenging and inspiring children is a real job. The closing of the 2005 yearbook dedication is very fitting. Mr. Dennison, you are the heart of our family. Occasionally, we all need to be reminded of our purpose and the difference we make to others. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and your entire UHA family, we present you with this plaque commemorating your lifetime of commitment to and love of UHA. It will be permanently affixed to the front entrance of the new building, where your tradition of excellence continues to inspire all who enter. Marvin Dennison.
Now I have to do the closing.
As he's so fond of saying, and now the required 20-minute speech.
Well, that was a surprise. Part of this is written. I normally begin the school year with a message to the beginning assembly. It's usually a combination of pep talk for the returning students and a brief orientation for those new to our school. We need neither of these messages tonight because we're celebrating something what all of us already know. We're congratulating ourselves and celebrating the impossible made real. As Taylor said earlier, UHA simply shouldn't exist, given the demographics of Hopkinsville and Christian County, yet we're not only existing after 50 years, we're thriving because of you, supporters, board members, faculty, staff, students, former and current, who believed and sacrificed to make UHA succeed year in and year out. I know that many of you had the opportunity this morning to visit and see the amazing physical changes to the campus we've made over the last few years. Those changes are remarkable. And by fall, they'll include restrooms for the expanded soccer concession building. We also passed another milestone. Last year, UHA has presented diplomas to over 1,000 graduates. And we will add 40 more in just a few weeks. Yes, early alum, you heard correctly. The class of 2023 has 40 members. The thanks have already been made to the original board, to the current faculty, to the committee members that made tonight possible. I do have one point of personal privilege. It's rare in this age to be able to spend a career in a place that you love and to find as well the love of your life working in that building. Some of you know when we met, Kathy had Laura Cherry's job, and that was 43 years ago. It still remains a privilege, and she's still the love of my life. They told me I was to make closing remarks, but the party is not necessarily over. We have the room for another hour. Enjoy your company, enjoy the night. Thank you very much. Good night.